the events. Thank you for inviting us. And I want to let everybody know that today's event is actually a unique event where we're going to be talking about human performance with the brain. And the concept around Neurostreet is integrated cognitive training into Wallstreet. And we do that through neuroscience, cognitive exercises, and trader development. Now, before I get started, what I need to do is I need to cover a quick disclaimer. As always, we cannot guarantee performance or trading results, nor should we. But if you are trading in the markets, please do so at your own discretion. And past performance never guarantees future results. So now that I got that out of the way, what I'm going to do is I want to talk a little bit about the agenda for the event, and we're going to go over artificial intelligence and how Neurostreet brings that into the mix. We're going to go over performance-based decision making and looking at some of the partners that we're working with in different laterals in the market. And then what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how your brain is responsible for trading decisions. A lot of people look at psychology and cognition as competitors when actually psychology is driven by cognition. And the key here is how do you use your brain for better trading, right? How does your brain impact performance? How does your brain basically identify strengths and weaknesses and how we can trade? And the reason I look at this is because it's a huge advantage to being able to give yourself an edge in the market. If you're going to be trading and you have a handle on your decision making, your brain is responsible for making money, right? And so one of the things that we do is we train your brain to become better at making decisions under pressure. And we're going to talk about that here in just a moment. So the first thing I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about Neurostreet. Neurostreet, the name itself is Neuroscience meeting Wallstreet. And we look at artificial intelligence and neurotechnology as a platform because what we've done is we've aligned ourselves with our partners in the industry known as NeuroTracker. And we're going to talk about what NeuroTracker is and the software application that we're using and how it enhances mental performance here for active trading and development. And the goal here is to help you reduce risk and give you the advantage of being able to increase your ability to become a better trader. Now, before I go any further, can you guys tell me how many of you guys think that if I could give you a better edge in the market through the way in which you make decisions, that would help you? You may yes if you feel that would help you. If I could say, if you could train your brain for 6 minutes every single day and it would give you an edge in the market, how many of you guys would be willing to think that that's pretty important? And it's even over and above trading. It's not about systems. It's not about indicators. It's not about anything. It's about you as an individual. Because at the end of the day, we could buy all the strategies in the industry. We could buy all the trading room programs. You could buy all of this. But at the end of the day, if you're pressing the button, you're the one responsible for the decisions. And 9 times out of 10, humans interfere with good decision making. And it's not even by knowing it. It's a lot of times by being aware that they're not even aware, right? And we're going to talk about this. So the reason this is super critical is because it's not just trading. Performance-based decision making is involved in high pressure, high base stakes industries, right? When you have to look at things like trading, you're looking at a lot of money on the line, your level of cognitive advancement and function, how well you advance or improve in your trading development, these types of things. And more importantly, if you look at it, what other industries are in that, right? Sports are measured by performance. They're paid millions and millions of dollars based on performance alone. The military and the army and special forces, their life is on the line. Online gamers, it's the biggest paid industry known to date now, even more so than professional sports. And it's all to do with performance. It's all to do with human performance. And so these are other laterals that we've aligned ourselves with as partners in our industry. And these are some of our clients. These are some of the companies that we actually work with that are using the technology that we are partnered with in order to be able to get a cognitive advantage in their industry. We work with professional sports associations. We work with Air Force, military. We actually just signed contracts with NASA. Yes, I say NASA, the space station. Yes, they are actually using it in their flight simulators. They're aligned through universities, health practitioners. The reason this is used in the hospitals industry is because it's actually proven to help rebuild cognitive function in concussion victims and, with Alzheimer's and dementia, these types of things. So you can see where this isn't just about trading, it's about the brain. It's about the human brain. It's about how your brain is directly responsible by performance-based decisions. Now, this is really, really critical because most of you that have ever heard me present in this industry, we're always talking about trading, and we're always talking about indicators and systems and strategies and this sort of thing. But what's really more important is you as an individual and where your brain is responsible for. Most people think that your emotions are the most important part, but your thoughts are driving your emotions. Your thoughts are actually driving the way in which you feel, the way in which you act, and the way in which you make decisions, which is also a result of how you process data, which directly lies into accepting and believing your belief systems, like whether or not you believe it or not, right? And whether or not it's actually your truth or not. And the stronger your brain is in making decisions, the better trader you can become, because trading is an advanced task. It requires immediate constant data influx. It requires you to make split-second decisions, and all of those are directly tied to your bank account. So if you're making incorrect decisions based off of cognitive function, you may or may not even know that your involvement is at risk and you're not even trading at your peak capacity, right? So I like to talk about trading tasks. Like, if we're going to think about why we want to do something, we need to understand the relevance. Multitasking, problem solving, pattern recognition, like looking at a whole bunch of different indicators, looking at different screens, being able to listen to a trade room moderator, and then being able to control your impulses. How do I manage risk, right? How do I process the speed of the market during news? How do I do these things under pressure and try to do that over multiple markets, right? You can see how your brain is directly correlated to advanced tasks. And so when we talk about this and we look at trading psychology and cognitive training, the key here is to understand that trading psychology is really important. It's absolutely critical to master your emotions in this business. But what is emotion? Well, the three are greed, which is an excessive desire to more money. So when you're in a trade, and you want to make more on the trade, I don't want to get out. I don't want to do this. Like, I think I'm going to hold on for more targets. We've all been there, right? Maybe you're afraid, you can't take a trade because you're afraid of getting into the market, or, you can't take a trade because you're afraid from the past losses, right? Or regret. Maybe you're regretting the decisions you've made, or you're regretting the trade that you just took because you feel it was good at the time and now you're regretting it. And so you can understand that the psychology of the business is really critical. But what I'm here to tell you is that the only way to manage your emotions is to strengthen your neural pathways in the brain. Your emotions are only a result of how strong your brain is. And the stronger your brain, the better your emotions can be managed. So it's kind of like taking your brain to the gym. If you go to the gym and you lift weights and you eat really good food and you practice a good diet, you're going to have a healthy body. But if you don't exercise your brain, then your brain is left to continuous repetitive patterns that may or may not be beneficial, right, to you. So how do you fix it? Or how do you make it better, right? You might be a very intelligent person, but still make mistakes that you can't understand. That doesn't mean that you're stupid, or it doesn't mean that you're not capable of doing something better. What it means is that there's things that need to be dealt with and it needs to be changed. And so executive function is one of them, how to stay on task and how to analyze planning. Working memory is understanding complex problems, right? Like learning a trading system is a complex task, and learning how to use the indicators is a complex task, right? Brainwave speed. How alert are you? I don't know about you, but when you get up in the morning and you're drinking coffee and it's super, super early, most people aren't very alert. Their learning capacity, the neuroplasticity of their brain is very at risk when you're going to go and place trading decisions based on your money, right? And so when we look at this, these are all the reasons why we want to have more attention. Response control is my favorite. Like, controlling your impulsive decision making under pressure is probably one of the most valuable things you could ever do as a financial trader. Being able to realize that you have the potential to change the outcome of whatever emotional decisions you've had in the past, and you can train your brain every single day to be stronger so that you can get a handle on that. And that gives you better comprehension as a trader. How many of you guys can see where I'm going with this? Right? Like you can kind of understand that this is not just about managing the fear and the greed. It's about giving you an edge so that you can have a much better ability to do that. Right? And so let's talk a little bit about some key impact facts. Um, if you think about it, what can we do in our business that can be a priority? Well, a lot of traders will look at building a pre-market routine, right? Your pre-market routine is getting up in the morning, looking at websites, looking at news, looking at your markets, looking at your charts, right? These types of things. What about risk reduction? How do I reduce risk? How do I become more self-aware so that I have the ability to become more profitable as a trader, right? Well, these are things that we ask ourselves, and we really want to be able to have a better handle on that. So what we do is I'm going to be teaching you guys an exercise here. I'm going to be showing you an actual product that we use. It's a software product that you install on your computer. And what it is it's going to be an exercise that you can train your brain so that it can give you these benefits. So the benefits will give you improved mental resistance to being tired. So if you find that you get tired looking at the screens, or if you feel that you're getting drowsy, or it'll be much better for you to stay more alert. You'll have faster responsiveness when you're looking at multiple monitors. So if you're looking at a whole bunch of charts and indicators, and you're listening to a trade room educator, and you're learning a trading system, you'll have a whole lot more cognitive abilities to basically process all that information, which is critical, especially if you're trading more than one market at a time. You'll have more focus, right? You'll be able to manage risk better. You can comprehend complex information. So what is complex information? I'd like to think multitasking in fast markets, managing risk, is probably one of the most comprehensive tasks you could ever do, right? How do you multitask? How do you do this? How do you do all that, right? And how do you manage that? And so these are the things that we look at that are critical. And one of the things that we do is we look at, how do I be more self-aware? How do I assess myself more doing this? How do I look at pre and post planning? How do I look at prep? How do I look at decision making under pressure? How can I reduce risk based on cognitive state? Right? These are the things that a lot of people don't even know is available to them. They don't even realize that it's applicable to them. And so what we're going to do is we're going to show you what we've done and what we've been able to do at Neurostreet that's giving an edge to our users as well as you. So this is an example of what we call step-by-step training. And step-by-step training is an exercise that involves three-dimensional tracking on a computer process team or application, so to speak. And so when you have the software, what it does is it's giving you the ability to do an exercise. Most of our traders do it pre-market. And what ends up happening is we'll do the 3D exercise with the glasses, and you can do it in 2D version. What ends up happening is you normally will start the exercise in 2D, and then when you get the glasses shipped to your house, which we ship to you after you're using the tool sets, then you can turn the mode to 3D, and then it becomes a 3D exercise. But the key here is that it's using artificial intelligence. So as you do the exercises, you're tracking all of the objects, and you're doing that, and it's tracking your scores as a trader. It's basically saying, okay, your brain is getting stronger, so we're going to make the exercise harder. And then if your exercise is less, it becomes less hard, or it becomes you become less adapt to it, and you get lower scores. What ends up happening is it ultimately makes it easier. So it's going to adapt the exercises to your brain capacity as you're training your brain, just like a muscle in the gym, right? You can only work your muscle so much before it's tired. You need to sleep, you need to eat. Same thing with your brain, right? And so what we're doing is we're basically giving you the ability to track your brain through a graph, just like an equity curve. So every day when you do the exercise, it's going to show you a result of how strong your brain is. And then as you do better, it's going to show you over time as your brain is getting stronger over time. And the concept here is that as you become better, it makes it more difficult, adding more targets, making it longer, so that you could have the ability to track your data processing as a trader. And so what I want to do is I want to do a demo with you. I want to show you what this looks like. Okay, I want to show you what this is and how this works. I'm going to basically do an exercise with you. We're going to grab my screen here. Can everybody see here? This is the NeuroTracker login. Give me a yes that you can see this. I just want to make sure that you guys got a handle on that. You guys got a visual cue on this. I'm going to go into this. And so this is a graph of my brain. And basically what it means is I've done 147 days of training. And right now my brain is 37% stronger than it was when I first started. Okay. And this is really important to know because it's not perfect every day. Look, my brain goes up, goes down, depending on food, depending on diet, depending on exercise, depending on everything. But you can see here, I've been doing my exercise all week and my brain's getting stronger this week. And so this is really, really important because I do this exercise in the morning before I start trading or running our trading rooms in front of hundreds of students. So I have an understanding of how I'm thinking that day and what my brain is doing that day and that type of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an exercise and I'm going to show you what this is. I'm going to put this to 2D, okay? And we're going to do an exercise together. So what's going to happen is I'm going to hit the exercise and we're going to do the exercise together so that you can see. Now I'm doing the exercise at an advanced level because I've been training my brain for a long time. It will not start this way because obviously everybody starts with a few targets and it makes it very easy. And then what ends up happening is as you get better, it makes it more difficult. So I'm going to be using my exercise at a very advanced level. So it might be hard for you to follow, but I'm going to show you exactly what it is. And so when we start the training, okay, what this is, it's going to track 4 balls. It's going to highlight 4 balls, okay? And I need to follow those balls. I need to keep my mind on those balls. I need to track those balls. I need to make sure I can see what they're doing and where they're going so that I can click on them after. And I can click, 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 click. And if I get it right, it's going to tell me I got it right at the bottom. And it's going to make it faster now, very faster. It's going to go faster and faster. And then my job is to do 25 sessions of this every morning. It takes about 6 to 7 minutes. Normally, you don't want to do too many a day because it's too much on the brain. You don't want to be doing it too often. But when you get it wrong, it slows it down, right? And as you do the exercise over time, what'll happen is you'll get a bunch of scores right, you'll get a bunch of scores wrong, and then over time it forms a baseline. Okay, it forms a baseline on your brain scores, and it'll basically give you a correlated graph of how strong your brain is getting. So you can see it's going a lot slower now. It's because the last 2 I got wrong. And this will be something that you want to do in a quiet environment. You want to be sitting in front of your screens. You don't want to have too many distractions because what it's doing is it's forcing your peripheral vision, your nearsighted vision and your farsighted vision to track the objects. Okay. And so we found this to be good pre-post market. So a lot of traders will do this before they trade, and then a lot of traders will do this after they trade. Okay. And it's normally just to see how well their brain is performing at the end of the day versus at the beginning of the day, right? And you can see what we're doing here. We're going to do the exercise together. We're going to go through this and we're just going to track the balls. And you might be able to follow along and see if you're getting them right with me and if I'm getting it right, just like this. And as you go through it, it really gives you the ability to make your brain a lot stronger, okay? So let's see what to get the scores here. Now, originally this was designed, just so you understand, this product was designed for Manchester United soccer team. Ronaldo, if you've ever heard of Ronaldo, the soccer player, the famous Ronaldo, he had his coaches fly to Montreal, Canada, who met with Dr. Faubert at the labs at the University of Montreal, head of neuroscience, and they said, we'd like for you to build an exercise to teach our soccer players how to have a better advantage on the field. And so ultimately, this was basically years later, they developed it. And they basically now are using it in the NFL, the NHL, the NBA. When the military got a hold of this, they did a correlated test against other companies that train the brains of their fighter jet pilots. And basically, this was awarded the world's #1 flight simulating trainer for Air Force military pilots. Out of, I think, 120 companies, this was awarded the top, which is why that's our biggest clients is the military. And the reason for this is because it's backed by science. This was not originally built for business. It was originally built for science. And so when I heard about this, as the owner of Neurostreet, we we integrated it into the school because we've seen a huge correlation to help traders become more consistently able to manage themselves under pressure. And a lot of people talk about, well, you need to manage your emotions, but what does that actually mean? How do you actually get a handle of your brain? How do you strengthen your brain to become better? Right? And these are the things that we ask ourselves as individuals because we want to be better traders. How many of you guys want a better handle of your own abilities as a trader? Being able to manage the fear, manage the greed, manage the emotions as an individual trader. Tell me yes or no if you find that that's something of priority to you, right? If you're somebody that wants to be better at this business, right, at a personal level. Because to me, most people want to put the responsibility on the indicators and the systems, but you could have the best strategy in the world and still be losing money. And the question is why? Because we're not making decisions properly under pressure, right? So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to stop this because there's no sense. We don't need to continue it. It's it's 25 exercises deep, so I can quit it at any time, and that's the thing. But you'll be able to track your progress. You'll be able to get an updated equity curve graph of your brain, which is a graph of your brain, and this will give you the ability to monitor your strength and correlation of how well your brain is performing. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I want to talk a little bit about, how we correlate this to trading, because that's really what we're doing here is we're risk performance correlations so that you can understand why this was powerful. When I first started doing the training exercises myself years ago, I started realizing that on the days where I was dropping in cognitive function, I was also losing money in the market. And on the days where I was actually doing well with my brain, I was actually making more money in the market. So, how does that correlate to you? Well, it's not about guaranteeing performance, it's about understanding the science between your brain and how well you trade, right? And what does that look like? And how can we be better, right? So, it's a 6-minute exercise. If 6 minutes can give you an edge, I'd like to think it's probably one of the most important things we could ever do as a financial trader. Okay. Pre-market self-awareness gives you a risk on, risk off assessment of how well you're about to perform as a human being before you start trading. It can help you with risk reduction, which can ultimately lead to increased profitability as you become better at making decisions under pressure. And what you can do is you can correlate your cognitive results with your trading results in the business. Okay. So I want to summarize the benefits because I think that it's really important that we talk about the benefits and you understand why it's so powerful to use as a tool in your toolbox. I think one of the things that traders do is we buy a lot of things that we feel that we don't need. And at the end of the day, it's like picking and choosing the most important. What is the most important thing for our business? Becoming better at making more money and reducing risk. And if we're humanly responsible for that, then that's the thing about training yourself to be a human performer, right? So we can help you with fatigue, we can help you with responsiveness, we can help you with focus, we can help you with complex task solving, multitasking, self-assessment around planning risk, risk reduction, and pretty much just making you an overall better human being as a financial trader. Okay. So I have a slogan that I normally like to, you look at this, and at the end of the day, if you're looking for an edge, what's the biggest edge you have? You are the biggest edge in the market. Your ability to decide how to participate is your edge. Okay. So we've got hundreds of traders using this all over the world. We started using this years ago, and it's just been a part of our school. We've got a ton of users all around the world in different laterals. But if you ever want to speak to traders or you ever want to talk to anyone in our school, this is definitely a place where you can go and read reviews on our company. If you've never heard of us before, we have a 4.5 star rating. They're excellent, and you can always check us out online with reviews and that sort of thing. One of the other things you get as a member of being part of the school is you actually get to be a part of our chat rooms. We have cognitive chat rooms. A lot of traders will post their brain scores every day, and it's kind of like competing against my brain is stronger than your brain sort of thing. It's fun. It's environmentally it's a fun environment, right? And traders like to post their successes and their wins and stuff like that. And having a strong brain is a win, right? Like being able to manage yourself is a strong asset, right? But one of the biggest benefits to today's event is ultimately this. Today is on cognitive performance, but we have a Netflix model. So whether I was doing the event on cognitive performance, or I was doing it on education, or I was doing it on strategies or software or any of my trading rooms, it doesn't matter because it's all included anyways. So if you're using cognitive training with us and you think, you know what, I'm going to give this cognitive training thing a try here. I think this sounds something pretty awesome. You get all of our trading rooms and all of our indicators and our trading systems and our education courses and everything, all part of it. It's an all-in-one model. So there's no buying extra programs and trying to subscribe to this indicator and that course or buying cognition, all that. It's all part of the school. So when you come in, you're a member of Neurostreet. Cognition is a part of it. And the best part about it is that you can become a better trader through cognitive advancement, but also being a part of our trade rooms and learning how we trade and all that other stuff, right? And I know David had asked us to do an event on trader development and psychology and performance, and I thought that this was really fitting for this type of event today. So what I'm going to do is I want to talk to you a little bit about giving you a discount, because I do believe that, cash is king. And I'm going to go over everything that comes into our school. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the normal pricing to become a member. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do here today in terms of giving you an offer you can't refuse. I don't know if you've ever heard of, Vito Corleone and The Godfather, and he always says, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. Well, that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to give you an offer that's so crazy that you'd have to literally be batshit crazy not to take us up on it. And that's where I think that this is kind of funny and it's fitting to the event. So if you're going to become a member of our school, cognition training is a part of all of our packages. We include cognition training as part of our package. And when you come into our school, we've got monthly programs and we've got annual programs. And instead of doing this, what we're going to do is we're going to give you an opportunity to come in and truly get yourself acclimated with Neurostreet. You may know us, you may not, but at the end of the day, your success is most important to us. And we want to make your barrier to entry and coming into our tuition programs very, very, very easy to make a decision on. So what we'll do is I'm going to give you a discount. I'm going to give you a Godfather discount. And instead of paying those prices, I'm going to do it for less than movie. If you can afford popcorn at a movie, I'm going to give you a career where you can have cognition and all of our trade rooms and all of our systems and everything, all part of the program. For $25, you get the first month of our school and you get access to everything that we've talked about today, plus the school, plus the program and everything. Okay. And what's nice about this is that we will not renew you at the full price. We will actually send you an email through that, and we will send you a discount link so that if you think, you know what, these guys at Neurostreet are really awesome. I'm making money in their trade room. Their cognition training is fantastic. I'm really, really glad I joined. We're going to give you a discount link so that you can renew at a much cheaper price throughout the month, so that we don't have to worry about paying full price. Okay. So I just wanted to share that with you. It's a very straight to the point presentation because cognitive training is really about cognitive training. It's not about learning a trading system. It's not about where do I buy and where do I sell. It's really about training your brain for peak performance. And trader development should be a priority. And so one of the things that I want to mention too is that if you don't like what you're doing and you're not in love with what we're doing, there's no contract, no commitment, no contract, nothing. So the key here is to realize that we have a love us or leave us policy. You're either going to love us and stay, or you're going to leave us and say farewell, right? It's no marriage. We're going on a date, go for dinner, and hopefully we can impress, right? So I'm going to put a link in the chat box, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask some questions, okay? And give you guys the opportunity, give me 1 second here, to save 93% on what we're talking about here. And I got a couple questions in here. It says, did any starting pro chess players ever try this? Andrew, that's a really great question. I don't manage the other divisions. I manage the Wallstreet division. So my partners are actually vested interest owners of Neurostreet, as well as I'm in on their side as well. So we're a team. And so, I'd have to check with them. I know we work with military and sports and all of that fun stuff, and Air Force and Navy SEALs and all that. But the main thing here is it's really about trading. We did a case study, and we're waiting for the white paper to be published at the university. We had 80 of our traders hook up their brains and correlated their performance. And we correlated all their brain scores to how much money they were making in the markets. And we found a positive correlation to performance of their profits versus performance of their brain. And so the university is doing a white paper on it right now, and Neurostreet sponsoring it because it was our traders. And we've got some really, really big institutional prop firms that are actually interested in integrating this as a result of that. So you can understand that this is not some little exercise where you can, maybe get handle of your fear. It's proven science to fix and train your brain for strong peak performance. So once again, guys, $25 if you can afford dinner and a movie, or movie and just some popcorn and some butter, you can afford to join us, and we can get you to the promised land as long as you come in and get started with us. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at that. Normally my presentations are a little bit longer, but today's event is really straight to the point in terms of cognition and trader development. So I'll open the floor up here, David, and I'll leave it kind of open to you guys to kind of drive the bus here.
Thank you, Sean. You got me from the first slides. It was incredible. You had an incredible presentation. I was here the entire time.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Awesome. Guys, it is so important. Your mindset is so important for trading. So hop on that. I mean, the super offer is just incredible. Like $25, guys.
Yeah, popcorn. If you can afford popcorn, we can get your brain going.
Oh my gosh, incredible presentation.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to helping you guys become peak performers.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Excellent. Right on, Abdul. Thanks for joining. Glad to have you on.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Sean. Thanks for accepting our invitation. We're really looking forward to seeing you our next time on our next presentation.
Absolutely, guys. Take care, guys.
Bye. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, David. Bye.